Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Krysten.janzen, online fitness coach for the Natty Hour, and it's been a little while since I have put out a video since the whole pandemic that has been upon us for the last few weeks now. Haven't really felt all that motivated in regards to, just putting out a video. I have very small bursts of motivation right now, so I'm kind of just saving those small bursts for my creativity and content creation on Instagram. But I decided that I think that, I need to share just some of the stuff that I've been doing with you guys. So I know that there is so many home workout programs floating around right now, which I think is awesome. I know a lot of people are being quite negative towards it, and I'm not gonna really dwell on that. I think that's really sad if people have negative things to say about it, because I think it's really positive, because it is allowing us to just come together in this time of need and try to just forget about COVID-19 for just a couple of minutes. And if you have to do that by working out, which I think is probably the best way and the most healthy way to cope with the situation right now. I mean, of course, I'm going to share with you guys some different ideas of how you can stay active at home, because all of our gyms are closed right now. So what else are we supposed to do? I want to encourage people to still try to maintain and live as healthy of a lifestyle as possible, because I know that there are definitely some unhealthy coping mechanisms out there, and I want to discourage people from resorting to those methods and still try their best to keep their mental sanity and stay as healthy as possible. So even myself, I've benefited from a lot of the home workout programs, because the level of creativity that has to go into them. So I've definitely have found a couple of good variations myself that I've incorporated into my own routine. So what I want to do in this video is just share with you guys an entire week of my at-home workout program, so you can just get an idea of what I've been doing. Maybe there are a couple of variations that I am doing that you haven't tried yet, and you can incorporate into your own routine. So before I get into that, I just wanted to say, in regards to coping on a mental standpoint with COVID-19, I actually recorded a podcast episode about it. I was gonna do a YouTube video about it, but I figured that, it might be a little bit better to just leave it as a podcast episode. So if you guys are interested, I give you just some strategies of how you can mentally, stay sane throughout this and still try to stay on point when it comes to your fitness goals. So make sure you guys go check that out. I'm on Spotify, or I guess it's not iTunes anymore. What is it? Apple Music? I can't even remember, but I mostly use Spotify myself. But my podcast is called More Than a Physique Podcast. So make sure you guys go check it out. I'll also link it in the description down below. And one final housekeeping item before I get into the actual workout routine. I do have a couple of spots available for our spring challenge, which will be starting up next week. So if anyone is interested in that, make sure you guys just send me an email, thenattyhour@gmail.com, and ask me about our extremely flexible payment plan, just because I know that it is very challenging from an economic standpoint for a lot of people right now, and we're all taking a major hit. So if you are interested and you still want like a nice distraction for the next few weeks, then the challenge might just be up your alley. So make sure you guys send me an email, ask me about it, and I can give you more information. All right, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the home workout program, and I will see you all in the next one. Alright everyone, welcome to the voiceover portion of the video. So I am just going to spend some time today going over all of the exercises that I am currently doing for myself when it comes to my at-home workout program. Give you guys some just some ideas for yourself. If you find that you can't go out there and get a bunch of weights and stuff like that, you can get creative with a bunch of things just around your house. So try to avoid having this all or nothing
nothing mindset. There are things that you can still do, and I have to say that since it's been an entire week now, I've been having a lot of fun actually getting creative around my house. It's not overly easy, but like I said at the beginning of the video, there are a lot of resources online right now where, you know what, if you need a variation, there are a lot of people putting out great information. So no excuses, you guys. I think that the best thing that we can really do right now is just try to focus on what we can control, which is most importantly our stress management. And it has been shown that exercise is the #1 way to help with stress management. So just lastly, again, make sure you guys are spending some time and moving your body as much as you can. So what I'm going to do for you guys actually in today's video, I'm giving you a full 7-day workout program. Now that's just to give you some variety. I am not encouraging anybody to work out 7 days in a row, even if you don't have access to as much weight as your body is used to. It's really important right now to make sure that we are still prioritizing our recovery. We don't want to be pushing our bodies too far. We don't want to be stressing our bodies too much, because recovery is extremely important. So just make sure that, you know, you're just trying to maybe focus on just maintaining everything right now. So make sure that you're still taking days off. So even though I've given you guys 7 days here, I'm actually, if you take a look in the description notes, I have provided you guys an actual detailed list of all of the exercises I'm doing here. I've laid it out for you over a 4-week period where you're only actually working out 5 days a week. So if you guys are interested in that, it's completely free, no strings attached. I'm just trying to do my part during COVID-19 and just help as many people as possible. So make sure you guys head over to the site, the link down below, and you can download your free copy of today's workout program. So I know I spent the entire time chatting as we went over day 1, but let's just continue on where we're at here on to day 2. So second exercise of day 2, as you can see here, are pistol squats. Very challenging exercise meant to target your quads. I'm clearly holding on to something because it's a very challenging exercise. If it's a struggle for you, just work up to a full range of motion and stop at maybe 90 degrees. You don't have to go all the way down, but that's something you can progress towards. Next, we're moving on here to one-legged Romanian deadlifts. I'm holding on to a plate, but there are other things that you can look for in your house. One of the best things that I can recommend for you to invest in if you just can't swing getting a bunch of weights right now is to get water jugs. You know, the big water jugs, those are roughly like 40 pounds. That will easily do the trick and will replace all exercises that require a dumbbell. Okay, this exercise here, Nordic hamstring curls, are probably one of the most challenging exercises. So if you have weak hamstrings, this is a great exercise to try to progress towards. If you don't have a couch like mine where you can put your feet under something, I would try to get your partner to help you out with this, where they can actually hold down your feet so you can still perform this exercise. You just gotta have somebody hold your feet down. So for day 2 here, clearly I'm doing a full body day. I'm actually doing right now, I'm trying to actually mimic what my body's already used to. So I'm just taking my current workout program and just replacing the exercises with what I can do. So prior to this pandemic, I was doing 1 lower day, 1 upper day, and 4 full body days. So I'm trying to do the same thing right now, where I'm just maintaining my current volume. I'm not doing anything that's overly strenuous or trying to make any PRs or anything like that right now. So my volume is pretty much the same, just different exercises, of course, based on what I can do and utilize around the house. So the next exercise here, I have a hip circle. You can easily do this with a mini band, or you can wrap a resistance band around your knees a couple of times and do some sumo squats. This, of course, is just working your abductors, so it's a great lower body exercise for your glutes. And then the last exercise here for day 2, I'm going to be finishing off with just some band pull-aparts. So moving on to day 3 here, which is another full body day. We're starting off with some weighted push-ups. Of course, you do not need to do these weighted. I would recommend that you make sure that you're prioritizing your full range of motion prior to progressing to adding weight on your back. Make sure that you are getting a full range of motion and progress from there, where maybe by the end of this, you're able to add weight onto your back. All right, moving on to some band overhead press. So for this one here, just because bands are very effective, but you might find that within the prescribed rep range that I have given you in the downloadable training program, you might be able to do more reps. So it's really important to just kind of listen to your body in this situation, especially when the amount of weight is limited, and don't just stop because you have hit the prescribed rep count. Make sure that you keep going. If you find that you're getting closer to like 20, 30 reps, and I mean that gets pretty tedious, pretty boring, you can add a level of difficulty for all of these exercises by just slowing it down, controlling your tempo a little bit more, so where you come down on the eccentric about like a 3 to 6 second count, and that will really help increase your intensity and the level of difficulty, so you're not having to do a total of like 40, 50 reps just to get that contraction that you are looking for a specific exercise. So there are other ways that you can control the level of difficulty here, and that's what I'm doing here with the goblet squats. Sorry, that already went pretty quickly, but as you saw with the goblet squats, I'm only holding a 25-pound plate, so to add to a level of difficulty with that, I put a mini band around my knees, so that just adds just an additional amount of difficulty because I don't have any heavier weights than what I'm currently holding. Okay, so moving on, I finished that one pretty quickly when it came to band curls, but I started off with a lighter band, so I had my red band at first, and as you can see here, my biceps are really red, and that's because I was performing blood flow restriction curls with the lighter band, and then I did a drop set to the heavier band. The reason that I am incorporating a lot of blood flow restriction, as you'll continue to see throughout the rest of the days here, is just because, again, it adds a level of difficulty because I don't have a lot of weight that my body is typically used to. You don't have to do any of the blood flow restrictions, any of the exercises that you'll see in these videos. If you have BFR bands, if you have experience with BFR training, by all means, it's such an excellent tool. For those who don't know, what it does is it actually limits the blood flow going back to your heart, so it pools the blood into the working muscle, which of course helps create a much larger muscle contraction in the working muscle. So that's why you saw when I was doing BFR band curls there, my arms were so red because the blood was pooling to that targeted area. So it's just a great way, it's a great tool for those who don't have a lot of weight that their body is used to. It allows you to do a lot more volume and still get a decent effect when it comes to muscular contraction. But if you're not comfortable with it, a lot of people aren't overly comfortable with BFR training, you don't have to do it. It's totally okay. You just have to typically do more reps that you normally don't have to do if you're limited to the amount of weight that you have. I really like this one right here, the detergent lateral raises. I found that it was actually a pretty decent weight for me to get a pretty decent blood flow to my delts. So I mean, it's just about, again, just getting creative and finding things around the house. So this actually worked out pretty well. Okay, so here we have some hip circle hip thrusts. You can do this again with a mini band, or you can wrap a resistance band around your knees. It does get the same effect. What I am trying to do at the top, it's hard to tell just because with the hip circles, they are extremely difficult when it comes to level of resistance, but I'm actually abducting at the top where I will open up my legs. I know it doesn't look like it, but that is why I am so fatigued and I have to take a break in the middle of my sets. But again, that just adds a level of difficulty versus just doing instead of just doing a hip thrust, adding that abduction at the top, again, adds that level of difficulty when we're so limited. Step ups here, I obviously don't want to do step ups on my couch just because it's, squishy and I don't get a good level of support. So, just find something around the house. A chair could work too, an end table. I was lucky enough that my cat's tree fort was at a perfect height for that. Okay, so this is the first time here that I've ever done pike push-ups. I didn't put the video in here, but I tried doing handstand push-ups at first and my feet kept sliding down the wall. So that was a very challenging one. So I'm going to try to progress to that where I'm doing this, but with my feet up against the wall where you're doing handstand push-ups. But this is a great exercise just for targeting your shoulders. So definitely recommend pike push-ups. They're very challenging, but you get a pretty good contraction from those. All right, again, we're just doing some bent over rows. This is the exercise that I was doing in day one. I find that for myself that I try to stick to some exercises and do them multiple times during the week, just because that's just how my training block is, and we are doing primarily full body days. I think with our situation, because things are so limited right now, increasing our frequency versus just going hard on one body part, like a bro split all in one day, there needs to be a differentiating factor there, because we don't want to be overly sore. Because you know what, even though a lot of these exercises are body weight, a lot of these exercises we aren't lifting as heavy as we normally would, I've been super sore. Our bodies are experiencing much different stimuluses that they're not used to. So I think that by increasing our frequency of our body parts being worked throughout the week versus working just one body part all in one day is just a good strategy to help with recovery as our body adapts to this lovely new life that we're all living in now. And that's why you will see me doing shoulders multiple times throughout the week, as well as back. And you will be able to see this, you'll be able to see the pattern of this a lot better if you go look at the downloadable training program. So again, here we have some BFR band curls. So you'll see there, because my biceps are so red, the blood is pooling to the working muscle, which helps me get that muscular contraction, and make sure that my biceps are getting a good workout in there. This one here, again, just getting creative with some prone flies. Oh, sorry, I know that clip was really quick there, but I use some textbooks because that exercise is actually targeting your rear delts. And for most people, that's a really small muscle that, doesn't require a whole heck of a lot of weight. So, you can use some textbooks. You can use some regular books, or maybe some water bottles or some Gatorade bottles. You'll see that I use Gatorade on day one of this workout program. So that's another strategy you can utilize. All right, again here we have some one-legged hip thrusts, and then I'm moving on to some goblet squats. And you know what, today, I'm listening to my body. I still have the same weight that I had before, but you'll notice I don't have a mini band around my knees, sorry. So you just kind of got to pay attention to your body and see what, it's capable of doing on the days that you're doing it, and if you go back, I know that clip was a little bit quick, but I was slowing it down a lot more than I was prior to it when I had a mini band around my knees. So I've definitely noticed that throughout the rest of the week, I really like to slow down the movements. So you'll see that I did that there with the one-legged Romanian deadlifts, and I'm still kind of playing with it, and I will continue to adjust things moving forward, just because these are all new movements to me as well that I'm not used to, and I'm going to continue to adapt and just try to do what feels best for me and that I actually enjoy. That's the biggest thing, is trying to find something that you enjoy and that you're capable of sticking to. So we're just finishing up day 6 here. Finished off with some lateral raises. I found some plates so I don't have to use the laundry detergent anymore. I got some 10 pounds there. That's typically a good weight for me. For the TRX, because I haven't mentioned it yet, if you don't have a TRX, all of these exercises that I'm showing you, which is typically just the row, is something that you can do without a TRX. So if you have some bands, you'll see I have already shown you that you can do some horizontal rows with just some actual bands. If you want to perform like an inverted row, quite similar to this TRX row, a lot of people actually are using their end tables. So that's another great way that you can do it. You can also do it with a partner as well, where you come down into a horizontal position where you are holding your partner's hands and you are rowing upwards. That's a great way to do some inverted rows. So I guess you haven't seen this yet. The knee wraps, that are wrapped around my legs. This is another form of BFR training. When you are doing BFR training for your lower body, you can't use those little blue straps that you saw me using for my upper body. You need something a lot bigger, if you will. So that's why you'll see that I'm using knee wraps around my legs. Same concept applies where, it is pooling blood to the working muscle for, exercises where I can't lift as heavy. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to training at home, is it's quite easy to get a lot of variation and variety for our upper bodies, especially for us women, because we are a lot stronger in our lower bodies. So, we can get a lot of progress and variety in our upper body movements, but lower body is the most challenging. So make sure that, when you are training your lower body, ladies, that you are taking most of your sets almost to failure, just a couple of sets away until failure. So that's why, again, you'll see here that I'm training, and doing some BFR training, just because lower body is so hard to get a good variety in and get an adequate amount of volume in. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but I think the biggest thing with this whole thing that we are dealing with, you guys, is just trying to be adaptable and making sure that we are still prioritizing our health as much as possible. And that's why I think, when it comes to it, trying to work out and just keep our minds off things, manage our stress is so important. So that's about it, you guys. I'll let this finish out with the rest of my exercises for day 7. Make sure you guys go take a look and download that training program. I think that it'll help you guys, and just keep your mind off things. And hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did, do me a huge favor. Make sure you maybe share this video to your friends and family, and hopefully we can help others around you. If you guys have any questions with anything I discussed today, I really want to help people out during this time. I am definitely available, so just send me an email if you want. If you need anything at all, my email is THENATTYHOUR@gmail.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay healthy. We'll chat more soon.